All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 135-pound division, where there was an interview given by Shakur Stevenson, and he virtually admitted that he ducked Devin Haney. Now, when I say virtually did it, those words did not come out of his mouth, but with the things that he said about Frank Martin, there's no other way to say it other than under the same standards, he ducked Devin Haney. This young man needs to be quiet, man. Stop talking so much, dude, especially if you're just going to make yourself look like you're either a hypocrite or that you avoided somebody else. Let's talk about why I say that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where the word duck has been used more times than in the last several years than I've heard the entire time that I was watching boxing, that I've been watching boxing. There was a time when you'd hear the word duck every once in a while, but at this point in time, every scenario that winds up with the fight not taking place is a duck, a clear duck, just a bunch of silliness, man. Right along with this, people releasing sparring tapes every 5 seconds. Man, social media has really changed a lot of the way that we talk about fights, for the good and for the bad. In this particular instance, Shakur Stevenson, though, puts his foot in his mouth in a major way. Now, I have obviously never been accused of being a Devin Haney fanboy, but in this particular instance, I have to agree with the Devin Haneyites about Shakur Stevenson. Now that Shakur Stevenson admitted they were right. Now, before I get into the details of it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a huge deal to the channel. So let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. Shakur Stevenson is now going to be fighting for a vacant title. The WBC title was vacated by Devin Haney when Devin Haney moved from 135 to 140 pounds to fight Regis Prograis for the WBC world title at 140 pounds, or junior welterweight. Shakur Stevenson will be fighting, I do believe, Edwin De Los Santos for that title. However, before he came to an agreement with Edwin De Los Santos, he was in negotiations to fight with Frank Martin. And Frank Martin, if you're not familiar, is a fighter that fights with Man Down Promotions, with Errol Spence Jr.'s promotional company. The fight fell apart because of money. Here's the deal, though. Shakur Stevenson takes to $1 million worth of game and explains that he had spoken to Frank Martin, who he calls a BITCH, the biggest BITCH in boxing. Never met a guy that was a bigger BITCH. All of the above, right? Man, I just listening to him, I'm like, man, you got to listen to what you're saying, man, because you're saying the exact same thing that Devin Haney said about you, and under the exact same facts. But what are those facts? Shakur Stevenson told Frank Martin rather, how much money there was in the fight, and gave him 75-25. 75% of the purse goes to Shakur. 25% of the purse would go to Frank Martin. Frank Martin says, according to Shakur, no, I don't want that amount of money. I think I deserve more, right? Shakur says that Frank Martin says that he wants 50-50. Now, Frank Martin denied that he ever said that he wants 50-50. But that's just neither here nor there for the second, because I'm talking about what Shakur Stevenson claimed he wanted. Now, why is that bad for Shakur? Because Shakur is the big name, isn't he? Or a bigger name than Frank Martin? Definitely. He is a multi-divisional champion. Definitely. All the above, right? Frank Martin is not a champion, has never been a champion before. No doubt about it. So you would think, okay, yeah, it makes sense that Shakur would want the lion's share. The only problem with the 75-25 is that the mandatory split by the WBC for a fight between the number 1 contender and the number 4 contender is 60-40. 60-40. It's not 75-25. However, let me tell you why this makes Shakur look bad. Because he said the same thing with Devin Haney. Devin Haney was the champion. He had all the belts. Shakur Stevenson doesn't have any belts. Shakur has all of them. Devin Haney had all of them. It was a fight where Devin Haney offered him the exact same amount of money out of the exact same budget, top-ranked budget of 75-25. And what did Shakur Stevenson do? Shakur Stevenson says that, no, I don't want that. He rejects it, goes to purse bid, and in the letter that he sends for the purse bid, his lawyer sends to the WBC telling that they would like to initiate the negotiation period formally so that they can ultimately go to purse bid. He says, we believe this special exception where we can get 50-50 should apply. So Shakur does literally the same thing he's accusing Frank Martin of doing. The same thing. The only difference is that Shakur Stevenson's judgment of his value versus Frank Martin's value. That's it. Because none of the things that Shakur Stevenson lists guarantee that you get more money because you've been a world champion before, right? Because you've been a world champion before, or because this guy's never been a world champion before. Those things are not things that the WBC is taking into consideration when they come up with just statutorily mandated mandatory splits. So really, it's just your opinion of your value versus his value. And you saying that this man's a duck for doing the same thing that you did with Devin Haney. So either Shakur Stevenson is just talking, or Devin Haney ducked, or Shakur Stevenson ducked Devin Haney. And far be it from me to want to say that somebody who I believe can win a fight is ducking, right? Because I think Shakur Stevenson would beat Devin Haney. On record saying it. However, there's more than one reason you may duck a fight. I guess, whatever the case is, I don't know that Frank Martin doesn't think he can win that fight. All you're telling me is Frank Martin wanted more money, and you weren't able to give him more money. Same thing with Devin. Devin wanted to give Shakur money. Devin wasn't giving Shakur more money. Anyway, man, just a bad argument from Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney fans are going to be enjoying this one because you set yourself up to look bad. Think about what you're saying before you say it, man. Think about the things you do before you do it. He didn't have to say any of that. He could have just said, look, man, I think this dude is scared of fighting me. He doesn't think he can win, and he doesn't want to sell out his career. That's plausible because Shakur's a great fighter. And if you don't think you can win, why would you fight him? But I'm not saying that Frank thinks that. I'm just saying that's better than making yourself look like a hypocrite talking about Devin Haney. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.